So this is my student assessment and lesson plan for a first grade student. So the pseudonym that I chose for my student is Susie. She's in the first grade and goes to a Catholic elementary school. She is the second oldest of four, and she doesn't have any major behavioral areas for concern, and she also engages well socially with her peers. She has an interest in games and sports, which was used to help motivate her throughout the assessment. Her parents expressed concerns that she's struggling with new words, and her grades having to do with reading seems lower than they'd expect, while the rest of her grades remain fine. One thing to note about this assessment was that it was conducted, due to the current situations, it was given over FaceTime rather than face-to-face, so there could have been outside distractions unknown to the assessor. The assessments we went through were letter naming fluency, nonsense word fluency, and Dibble's oral reading fluency. Letter naming fluency is only given to first graders once, typically at the beginning of the year, and it's really just to be an indicator of risk. If the student is really struggling with letters at this point, then that's an issue that needs to be addressed. All the students have to do in this assessment is read as many letter names provided as they can in a minute. The next assessment was nonsense word fluency, which indicates the student's ability to decode words properly. This one is particularly important because poor decoding skills can lead to major setbacks in oral reading fluency. The final assessment was the Dibble's Oral Reading Fluency, or DORF assessment, which assesses accuracy in reading and comprehension skills. For first graders, this one is important to ensure that students are remaining on track and are not falling behind in their reading skills. It is also a quick indicator if they are in fact falling behind. Here is a table of Susie's results compared to the middle of the year benchmark scores for first grade. This assessment was given in April, which is nearing the end of the year, but not quite there, so it should be expected that the scores are a bit higher than the middle of the year benchmark scores. There's no benchmark for letter naming fluency, so it's more subjective and is a bit more up to the teacher if they think that the student is at risk. So Susie scored a 71 for this, which seems to be good, or at least fairly average. For nonsense word fluency, for her correct letter sounds, she scored a 35, while the benchmark is a 43. So she's below benchmark there, as well as for whole words read, where she scored a 3 compared to the benchmark 8. Her DORF words correct score was above the benchmark with a 39 compared to a 23, as well as her accuracy being an 88%, while the benchmark is 78%. Lastly, her retail score was a 19, and the only benchmark score given for retail is for the end of the year, which is 15. So she is above the benchmark in that category. For letter naming fluency, Susie does not seem to be at risk since her score was reasonable and she was able to get through the letters effortlessly with 100% accuracy. Her nonsense word fluency score was below the benchmark, as well as being at and near the cut point for risk, which means if she doesn't receive additional support quickly, she could fall well below the benchmark. She often repeated the same incorrect sounds and struggled with saying the whole words. So this is problem areas for her. With the DORF assessment, her score was above the benchmark. She read with confidence, so that was good. One issue is that with her nonsense word fluency being at risk of falling well below the benchmark, her oral reading fluency is at risk for falling below the benchmark as well by the end of the year assessment. The first target area that is at risk, is decoding. With the ability to decode being her main issue, a focus on phonics should prove fruitful for Susie. Phonemic awareness and phonetic decoding is crucial to students' reading abilities because it involves how the student processes the words in their heads before saying it out loud. To monitor her progress, screening checks and at-home observation will maintain that she is on track. The second target area is fluency. Even though hers seems fine right now, there is always room for improvement, as well as focusing on it could prevent her skills from falling behind. The strategy to help with this is echo reading, which has been found useful in the classroom because it provides a model to students for how something should be read, as well as it encourages reading out loud. Reading out loud lets students practice expression and decoding. It also has a greater effect on fluency than reading in your head. Progress with this strategy could be monitored through the use of reading level books. The teacher would keep track of which level each student is at and periodically have the student either echo read or read it without hearing the teacher first. The lesson plan to help with decoding uses both strategies mentioned before, the use and emphasis of phonics and echo reading. This lesson is focusing on decoding since this seems to be the root of Susie's reading struggles. The students will be presented on a blackboard with one-syllable words to decode as a whole class, as well as one at a time when called on. Then the students will be given partners and a list of more words that they will practice decoding and reading to each other. There would be 3 rounds to this part. The first is that they should mark a line in between each letter of the words. The second being that they would say the letter sounds out loud, and then round 3 is saying each letter sound, then saying the whole word out loud. If the partners finish early, then they should practice doing the decoding in their heads and then only saying the whole word out loud. After all the pairs are done, each student will be given a sentence with one of the words from the list in it, and then they will all be asked to read it out loud to the whole class. Once this is done, the teacher will pull out any students who had noticeable difficulty during this lesson and will work with these students individually or in smaller groups to give them more practice. While this is going on, the other students will again get together with peers and practice echo reading. And then that is all. Here's my bibliography with my sources. Thank you for listening.